Welcome to Creative Commons Basics. 4 icons, 6 licenses, it's easy. The first icon is attribution. All that means is give credit to the person who created the original work that you're using. The second icon is share alike. That means that if your project is building on a work with a share alike license, you agree to publish your work with a Creative Commons license as well. Or if you license your work with a share alike license, any work that builds on your work will be published with a Creative Commons license. The third icon is non-commercial, which is exactly what it sounds like. The work is free to adopt, adapt, or distribute, but don't commercialize it. The last icon is no derivatives. This is the most restrictive of the Creative Commons icons. It means that a work is free to download and enjoy as is. You may distribute it as is, but if you want to create a derivative work, for example, a translation, or to include that work in a compilation, then you need to seek permission. Proper attribution is very simple. Just use a TASL, T-A-S-L. Title, author, source, license. Note the title of the work and note any changes that you've made to the original work. For example, if you used a photograph and you cropped it or changed the color balance. Give the author's name, spell their name correctly, but you don't have to worry about italicizing or underlining or what type of font you use. Just indicate the name of the author. The source of the work. Note where you found it so that other people can go back to the original source and find it too. And the license. Note what kind of Creative Commons license the original work has. There are only 6 licenses. They are combinations of the 4 icons. So if you understand the 4 icons, the licenses are easy. CC BY just means give attribution. CC BY SA, give attribution, and license your work under a Creative Commons license. CC BY NC, give attribution, and don't commercialize the work. CC BY ND, give attribution, and don't change the work without permission. Creative Commons grants some of copyright holders exclusive rights, but it allows the rights holder to retain specific rights. With CC ND, you're going to need to ask for permission if you want to translate the work or to use it in a compilation. CC BY NC SA, give attribution, don't commercialize the work, share your work under a Creative Commons license. CC BY NC ND, give attribution, don't commercialize the work, and don't make any changes to the work without permission. In creating a derivative work, you might want to translate the work, which would change the original language, or you might want to create a collection or a remix. A collection gathers works that are Creative Commons licensed or that are in the public domain. But the works remain distinct, like a volume of poetry or a collection of scientific articles for an open educational resource. A remix blends works together in a way that makes it harder to separate out the individual works, like taking a film that's in the public domain and layering in a new keyboard track, some percussion, and some sound effects. The finished work is one unit. It's like a smoothie. It's hard to separate out the individual pieces that were used to create it. Works with a no derivative license, CC&D, are like a cactus. Don't put them in your bouquet and don't put them in your smoothie. In fact, don't try to turn the cactus into anything new. It stands alone unless you have permission to change it. Collections and remixes are entitled to their own licenses as compilations, but this does not change the nature of the underlying work. The license on your compilation recognizes your efforts in curating the selection of works and any new material that you created to tie the compilation together. So, for example, an open educational resource might contain articles that are published under a CC BY license and include photographs from Pixabay or Wikimedia Commons and a map from a source that's part of the public domain, and then apply a CC BY in C license to the compilation. The map that's part of the public domain is still part of the public domain. Its status hasn't changed. Anyone else can freely use the works that are in the public domain. The CC BY NC license is just for the entire OER as a whole. Also, if you'll notice, the CC BY on the top line of the second paragraph has a lowercase b. CC BY in the bottom line of the second paragraph is an uppercase b. This is not a distinction that Creative Commons worries about. I put this in deliberately to illustrate that it doesn't matter what font type you use, if you italicize, if you underline. The important thing with Creative Commons licenses is that you recognize what the icons mean and that in every one of them you give appropriate attribution by using the tassel formula, the title, the author, the source, and the license. Distinctions of uppercase, lowercase, type fonts, these aren't something that are going to impact your Creative Commons license. What does Creative Commons have to do with copyright? At the moment a work is fixed in a tangible medium, the creator of the work has copyright. This includes the exclusive right to control the reproduction of the work, making derivative works, distributing the work, displaying the work, or performing the work in public. If you want to make use of any of those rights, you need to contact the copyright holder and ask for permission. Creative Commons licensing bypasses the permissions process. It's the author's way of saying, look, use the work under the terms of the 4 icons combined into one of the licenses. The creator is making the work available in exchange for recognition of their work. Where copyright is all rights reserved, you must ask for permission. Creative Commons allows use of the work given attribution, and in certain circumstances requires that you ask for permission. Creative Commons work are subject to the same exceptions as copyright: fair use, parody, comment, criticism, or if the work is in the public domain. Creative Commons works with copyright. It doesn't replace it. And that's it, Creative Commons Basics. It's easy. I'm Darcy Olson, Copyright and Scholarly Communications Policy Director at Louisiana State University Libraries. If you want more information on copyright or Creative Commons licensing, visit our website at www.lib.lsu.edu/services/copyright. Thank you.